All right, so we are live. First time watching the 2021 NBA draft, waiting for the number 4 pick of the Raptors. Let's see. Adam Silver is at the podium. I don't know if he's going to announce the pick already, but it doesn't look like it yet. But you were saying, like, I think Cade is pretty clearly number 1. I don't think there's any doubt about that right now.
Yeah, I don't think any deal's happening. I mean, probably would have heard something.
I mean, from everything that we heard, it was like it was going to take a lot for anybody to be able to move up. I think the Pistons were at one point. I heard that they were kind of doubting whether, not doubting Cade. I think what actually ended up happening was Jalen Green had a really good workout, so it was kind of like at the back of their mind. So they weren't sure like if that was enough to sway them. But I think like it was always pretty much 99% Cade.
I mean, it solves a lot of problems for them. So,
yeah, I mean, the thing is too, though, when you're that bad, really, like you need anything.
Sure, for sure.
And if you really think Cade is the best overall, which I mean, most people do. I think every big board that I've seen has Cade number 1. But I mean, I could see Evan Mobley. All right, so the Pistons. They're on the clock right now. So the Pistons are on their clock. The Pistons fans must be so excited right now.
I can imagine. I remember the excitement when we picked Andrea Bargnani, right? First overall.
What a year to get the first overall pick, man. Like of all years, we get we get it in one of the thinnest drafts.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, there weren't a whole lot of options. I mean, we complained about it a lot. I mean, but there were a few guys, but that's about it.
I didn't actually mind the pick. We've talked about this on the show before. Like, I still like. People will laugh at me for this. I think I mentioned it to Blake Murphy, and he kind of like shook his head. But like, I think Andrea was ahead of his time. Like he
would have done really well in today's NBA.
Yeah, I don't think he ever would have lived up to the number 1 pick hype. But I mean. There wasn't like it was pretty slim pickings, and like I understood what Brian Colangelo was doing at that time. He was kind of trying to do the Euro movement because it was at that time it was kind of hard to get anybody to buy into staying or even coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got all this. I'm assuming they got like it's probably like the NBA. I can't remember, but I mean, sorry, like the NFL, where it's like 2 minutes to pick.
Why does the first overall pick needs time? I mean, that's one thing I don't understand. Like, why does the first overall? Why can't you just come in? Like, I mean, you've already done this. Like, you're the only one who has unlimited time. Like, no one else. Like, you're dictating everything.
It's the TV, man. You gotta do everything you can to hype it up. All the fanfare. Like they did intros today, which I don't think they had ever done before. It's all TV. But you're right. Like just announce the pick, get it over with, and let's move on.
I mean, I remember when Oilers were up for first overall, and you could see the glee on Peter Chiarelli was the GM back then, right? And his face, because he knew he's going to draft Connor McDavid. Like,
McDavid.
Why do you need to give him? Like,
didn't they have a run of a bunch of like?
Yes.
I don't know if it was first overall or like top 5 picks.
Well, bunch of number 1s, like Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think there was someone else in between as well, and then McDavid. So you're calling Suggs
for the Raptors? Yeah, I was hoping for Barnes, and like I'm sure Twitter would blow up if the Raptors actually went ahead and did Barnes, but I think it's pretty set. If Suggs is there, they're going Suggs. I don't mind the pick. Like I think Suggs is going to be a really good player. It's just. It's hard not to salivate over somebody with such athletic ability like Barnes. Like the wingspan, the guy is 6'8", 6'9", has nearly a 7'3" wingspan, which is just that's like Kawhi Leonard territory. I think Kawhi is 6'9" and has a 7'3" wingspan.
Yeah, but speaking of Barnes, it's interesting. So I was listening to Bob McCown, like Devlin and Smith were on, and they both kept talking about, Mobley, Suggs. But then the conversation came to Ben Simmons, and they both like any GM would be stupid not to take him based on what he can do. Yeah, I mean, offensively they struggle and stuff. But the more they talked about Simmons, it seems like, then don't you want to take a flyer on Barnes?
I would. And it's funny that like a lot of people have been doing the Ben Simmons Barnes comparison. And I think with a lot of Raptors fans, when they hear that comparison, it kind of scares them off because, you know, recency bias and people just remember what Simmons did in the playoffs and they're scared because he couldn't shoot. The guy can still add a lot outside of his shooting. Sure, like you're paying him $40 million, so it's difficult. But I mean, development is a lot different player to player. You can't say that just because Simmons came into the league, never learned to shoot, that the same is going to be true for Barnes.
And it's different for each organization as well. I mean, you have trust in the 905 or Raptors system that you can work with anyone.
Yeah, but people just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, you buy into what you're hearing from the media or you latch on to one writer's thoughts and you're never able to get off of that mentality. Like the Raptors player development compared to the Sixers player development, I would take the Raptors 10 out of 10 times with any player. And that's the big difference. I mean, in reality though, with any of these guys in the top 5, I know we're like, all we've heard is that, they're top level prospects, tier 1 as Chad Ford and a lot of teams put it, tier 1 level prospects, which means like in a lot of cases, multiple all NBA teams, but that doesn't mean that they're absolutely going to reach that potential.
Yeah, for sure. And I think people still have that mindset from 10, 12 years ago when everyone would just put all their chips in that one guy and you need that one guy to win. And yeah, I mean, you need the number one, but over the last 10 years, I think we've learned a little bit more about the importance of the full roster construction, the way, like, I think people still have that old school mindset about, just go for a sure thing. And
yeah, the shift in the NBA has been so quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people like the mentality has also come in and almost like, you have to give something right away. People aren't patient enough to wait for somebody to develop in a lot of cases. And I think that's where the whole Barnes Suggs debate. Oh, wait, hold on. Here, the Pistons shouldn't be a surprise here. Yeah, there you go, Cade Cunningham. Would you have the balls to go in a different direction when everybody's saying Cade Cunningham is the number 1 guy?
I would think so, because you're not talking about a LeBron James. Anyone else, you would probably.
Here I am, and
you missed the memo. You're wearing the wrong hat.
Yeah. What's going on?
I don't have it. I don't have one of those ones. I have a finals one that's like in that style, but it doesn't fit properly. I like this one better.
It almost looks like you're wearing one of those old school Kangol like Samuel L. Jackson hats. There you go.
All right, we'll go this.
Okay, this looks.
Did they
So I think I would in this draft. I mean,
did they just say Cade as a daughter?
I think so.
Damn.
we're live.
Pramit, would you have had the balls to go in a different direction from Cade?
Whoa. Oh, sorry. A couple of things just came. That would have been hard. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scout. It would ultimately depend on my contract, the safety of my job, and the roster makeup. But yeah, I'd probably go with him.
I think you almost have to be a messiah to be able to do that, don't you? Like have that kind of like.
Shan says that Raptors and Cavs are still talking about the 3rd pick.
You think? I wonder if that's Mobley.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be Mobley, right? If they really want him, that means.
What do you give up for Mobley though? How far do you go to get him?
Do you think they would go down one spot if he threw in those 2 second-rounders?
No, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I don't think that's enough. Like for the Cavs to do that, I don't think so.
I don't think that's enough either. But if Masai could find a way to make them do it.
Sorry, very quickly, one non-basketball thing. So apparently Padres and Scherzer thing might not be happening. Dodgers are about to get Scherzer and Trey Turner.
Who is? Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's a shame they can't win 162 games with that roster.
76ers are asking for Wiggins, Wiseman, 7 and 14, and 2 future first rounders for Ben Simmons. Warriors say no.
Yeah. If I'm the Warriors, like I laugh in their face, like just like Masai should have done when Morey calls Masai with that bogus offer. Actually, I don't even know if that one actually happened.
Jalen Green's gonna go 2.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a given that Green is going to, from everything that I've heard. I don't know if anybody confirmed it, but I think we can say that Jalen Green is number 2.
Did they show Dwayne Casey on camera?
No, they didn't. I don't think he's in the war room. Oh, you're wondering about his suit?
Of course.
You guys have talked about this. Really, either of these three, any of these three would be tremendous.
Yeah, I was listening to
wearing a mask. That shows that he cares.
Who?
Something they just showed them on each of them on. Suggs is the only guy that's wearing a mask.
They picked him already, right? They made the pick already, right?
Who? Which pick? My stream is probably behind. So right now the Rockets are still on the clock.
Oh, Jalen Green 2.
Jalen Green went 2?
Yep.
How far? Am I that far behind?
Yeah. What are you seeing right now?
It's still the interview with Cade.
Damn, you're behind, man.
Yeah. So
long past that.
I'm streaming it, and like I'm sure there's probably too much streaming activity going on at home. So let's talk about Green. Like would you have? Personally, I would go Mobley with that pick.
With 3?
With the 2 pick, I would have gone Evan Mobley instead of Jalen Green. I can understand why they're doing it, the scoring that you get with Jalen Green, but I mean,
he could be. I mean, the way the league is, he could be like that. He's a box office player too, potentially. I think that he played well in the G League Ignite. He played against men.
Yeah,
helps.
I think that's going to be the most interesting part of this draft. Like with 3 guys who are up. I mean, really, 3-4 guys from the Ignite team to see how once they get into NBA teams, how they actually end up acclimating to everything. Is it going to be that much smoother because of the Ignite experience, or is like everything that we've heard is that there's college, there's G League, and then there's NBA. So G League is closer to NBA than college would be. But I just want to see if it actually translates, because I think Jalen Green's performance over the next couple of years is really going to determine how a lot of teams look at the G League and guys coming out of the Ignite team.
But also, doesn't it also change how a lot of players look at NCAA or Ignite?
Sam says Cleveland will take Mobley, so it looks like the Raptors couldn't get a deal done. So Cleveland is going to take Mobley 3.
So then that pretty much leaves us with
the Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson swap.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's still that, right? So here's how far behind I am. They are just now making the second selection.
Oh, yeah, you're behind, man. Can you find another stream?
I'm streaming it off of TSN.
Cool. Are you? Oh, is it the legit one or one of the IP, like the legal one?
100% legit.
Oh, then yeah.
I only do things in a legitimate manner.
I'm through Beanfield. I'm watching it. Yeah, legit. Yeah.
I'm in my room, so I can't do the TV. We have one person viewing.
Who is actually viewing us?
I don't know. If you can see us, leave us a comment. I'm wondering if it's actually our own account just watching it. It might not be actually anybody.
We were just wanting to do a 3-way chat.
I don't know, man. Like I'm still kind of. I have the outside hope that the Raptors end up going Scottie Barnes.
I mean, when Grange reported Suggs, my natural instinct was to say Barnes, but
Just because you're assuming that Grange is wrong?
Well, he had the balls to call out Casey about the. Okay. Oh, it says Lakers Wizards deal is done.
Yeah, I heard there were some picks that were supposed to be working into that. I think it was a second rounder or probably not a first rounder. I think it was a second rounder that they were still waiting on. So it's confirmed.
Yep.
The important thing is who's confirming it.
Woj.
Well, okay. Then you know it's legit.
I only do. Okay, so Shams is saying it's Westbrook, the 2024 second rounder, a 2028 second rounder. Okay, to the Lakers. Okay, that far out for like 7 years, a second round pick. That's what they had to. That's what they were haggling over for Kuzma, KCP, Montrez, and number 22 tonight.
I'm amazed that they finally found somebody to take Kuzma off their hands.
I actually like the deal for Washington.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I mean they need help. I don't know that. I think they had a ceiling with Beal and with Beal and Russ together. So I don't mind the move. It's just interesting from the Lakers' perspective. You go from being a team who was like 25th in 3-point shooting to a team who could potentially be worse, because I think KCP was probably their best 3-point shooter on the team. Obviously, you can round out the roster with some free agent guys who can shoot, but I mean that's going to be a very clogged lane.
I still wonder if they could do the swap. Here it comes.
Raptors?
No, Cleveland.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select Evan Mobley.
Yep,
Mobley.
Okay. All right. So I think Suggs is pretty much a given. I'm not like I want to say, you know what? The biggest reason that I want to see them actually go for Scottie Barnes is because I want to see what Raptors Twitter does. I love the overreactions on Twitter about somebody that maybe some of these people have seen like once on like a 2-minute YouTube clip.
The body.
But I mean, even more than just the body, like it's the ability.
It's Magic
right?
Johnson game. I'm not now. I hate this. I don't want to use Magic, but like
that's putting a lot on him.
Yeah.
That's putting a lot. I mean, it's just I don't think people a lot of times consider potential. We're like Osman and I were talking about this earlier. Like sometimes you got to look at what the player can be. When you look at the body mixed with the court vision, is like his ability to like defense is one of those things that normally young players don't necessarily pick up quickly, and that raises his floor. Like the fact that he'll be able to play D potentially in the NBA.
He can pass, he can rebound.
Yeah,
things that they've lacked recently. So,
like I know the shooting is an issue. I know the shooting is an issue, but
it can be developed. And this
OG
year, more than any other year, because of COVID rules, guys weren't allowed just to go to the gym and work on their shooting the way they would have been in the past.
So that was the big thing. I know I was listening to another podcast where it was a college coach, Shaheen Holloway, was on a podcast talking about how they couldn't even do like sometimes they have. I don't know if you've ever seen. They have this long foam pad where they'll like try to block with the pad. They couldn't even do like drills like that because they didn't want players to get too close to the coaches.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Shams and Woj at this point had normally, as soon as like the player was on stage with Adam Silver, at this point they normally called the next pick, and they haven't called it yet. You don't think something is up, do you?
Could be, because I know for TV purposes they pretty much have the next person queued up already.
Until the Raptors don't let leaks out, so.
But other teams do.
If they know.
If it's a trade. I don't think it's a trade. I don't think they're doing that.
These guys, come on, Shans.
How much time do the Raptors have in the clock?
These guys are bullshit with the picks. The last couple of picks, they've called it like about 4 or 5 minutes before.
What do the Raptors have on the clock right now?
2:57. Oh, they're taking Barnes. They're taking.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, Shams just tweeted it.
Don't mess with me. Are you serious?
Go on Twitter. It's a Shams just tweeted it.
I can't wait to see the reaction on Twitter. I can't wait. I love it. I love it.
Brother, hold on. I gotta hit the mute button. I'll be right back.
Oh, we lost Primer. The guy was too excited.
At least turn the TV on volume. I can't watch anything in my room. So, but yeah, I just saw Shams tweeted. Toronto selecting Scottie Barnes at 4.
Raptors Twitter is gonna lose it. But this is the thing. The only type of person who can make this pick, because it's not the safe pick, is like the combination of Masai and Bobby Webster.
And the fact that you won already, right? So you still have that buffer. But man, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's ballsy. And you know what? For the first couple of years, people are probably going to be pretty disappointed with this pick. And you'll hear them like moaning and groaning for the longest time. But once he starts to develop that shot, once he starts to come around, which I think he will, man. Like attitude-wise, the kid seems really good. Like you watch a game tape, you just see the types of things that he does. And like the biggest thing is in this day and age, in this NBA, that switchability is huge in an NBA defense. Like you can't to find a guy who's 6'8", could potentially still grow, that can cover on the perimeter, and you can switch him on a big. He can guard 1 through 5. Like that's huge. You don't find that.
Exactly.
Brad, was that Shams on the phone?
Well, now Blake saying okay, no. Blake just tweeted, "Good thing I pre-wrote both scenarios."
Yeah, I was watching something with Blake and William Liu where they were kind of playing like both sides of the fence. So Blake was on the Jalen Suggs side, and William was on the Scottie Barnes. I think Blake was pretty much convinced
Here it comes, guys.
Okay, turn up the volume.
Scottie Barnes, there you go.
Oh, we couldn't hear it. I'm so excited that
you got your pick, Ron. You got your pick.
How long has it been since I was saying this? Chad Ford convinced me that this guy was the guy that we needed. And from early on, I remember when I first saw the name. For anybody watching, like when I first saw the name, I wasn't convinced. I'm like, Scottie Barnes.
The body, everything. He's the man. He's the man. ACC Freshman of the Year and Sixth Man of the Year.
There you go. We're getting Pramit's live reaction right now.
And it's priceless.
We'll talk soon. Yeah, take care. I was just talking, and Gary Durant was there. I was like telling him, I told you. As soon as Grange said Suggs, I was like, all right, I know what's happening.
So that's funny actually. That was your cue to, like, you said it from the beginning. As soon as like Grange is wrong.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Pramit?
I like it. Like, look, he fits them like multiple positions, versatile. He's exactly the kind of guy that they like. And for all, like, you're really going to try to do any of these Twitter people or any of these guys really believe they can out-scout Masai? The guy that got Pascal at 27, OG at 23, Norm at 40-something. Don't fucking...
That's just it, right? Like, You're looking at people who do this for a living. Who, like Masai has a great track record for being able to spot talent. I trust him on 100%. And for anybody watching, like this is somebody that a lot of people pegged early on in the process as somebody who could move up, and he did eventually start to move up the board because of the things he can do. And then the measurables at the combine they were just the icing on the cake. I just saw the reaction right now, finally.
So Bruce Arthur is saying the internal thinking is that he had more long-range upside than Suggs.
And that's just it, right? When you're picking at 4, what you want is the guy with the highest top end potential. And the thing is, it's not like he's got a low floor. He can, like we said earlier, he can still do things defensively and on the fast break that raises floor. But I mean, like, the top end potential is going to be huge with this guy.
Yep.
For anybody who hasn't seen him, just go, honestly, just go watch his highlights on YouTube. There's like a couple like 8-minute videos where it's all of his highlights throughout the season, and you can see the things that this guy can do, man. Like, if he ever is able to shoot even mid 30%, steal. It's a steal.
Did Grange delete the tweet?
I don't even know that I saw the tweet. I think somebody told me that it was Grange reporting it, or
It might have been me, but I'm looking. Yeah, he.
Jeff, I will start with you. We know that Barnes is obviously versatile on the defensive end of the ball. He had some inefficiencies offensively, but what do you think?
the important thing to keep in mind with Scottie Barnes is patience. Like, out the gate, he might struggle a little bit. It's going to take him a while to, especially offensively, to figure out his role, to find out how he fits in with the team. In the half court sets, he might struggle a little bit too, and it might look initially like Suggs is going to be the better player, but give him a couple years. Look at OG compared to his first year. Like, it's night and day.
Yep.
Even in half court, I mean, he can. He can drive and kick. He can distribute. He can set screens. He can do things to get guys space.
Yeah, I mean, you play him like you run him in a pick and roll. You have him running to the rim, like, similar to like an Ayton kind of thing. I know he's not the same kind of interior presence that Ayton is, but I mean, have him on the pick and roll, and he just runs to the rim, and he can make plays for you.
Yeah. Dan Shulman approves.
Yeah.
For the most part, people, I mean, everyone likes the pick. It's just Raptors Twitter maybe that'll go crazy.
It's Raptors Twitter. It's people who might not even be with this team if they struggle like on a regular year, anyways.
Or some or most folks who probably don't know a whole lot of names outside top 3-4 of a draft year, right? It's just one of those.
Right. I mean, the thing with Suggs is, I like I said before, I do think he's got a lot of skill, but when you look at fit, I mean, first of all, you don't draft for fit, you don't draft for now. Fit, he would have been really good right now. Like, he would address the need if Kyle he probably will leave. So it addresses that immediate need for a point guard. He could probably step in right away and give you some minutes. I think there are some deficiencies in the half-court offense. If you look at what Suggs did against Baylor in the NCAA championship game, he struggled. I mean, Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell, they're two dogs on defense. So it's a tough way to look at it. But like, you look at a lot of his highlights, like a lot of what Suggs did was on the fast break. Half-court sets were a little bit difficult. And also, like, one of the knocks against Suggs is that he played with like such a good team in Gonzaga that it was a little bit easier for him to do things offensively. Whereas, like, Scottie Barnes, people are going to look at his numbers and say, well, his numbers aren't great. I think it was like 9 points, 5 rebounds, and like 5 assists or something like that. But I mean, Florida State's system isn't really conducive to a guy like him putting up numbers. Patrick Williams
Come off the bench. He was a freshman.
Yeah, precisely. And like Patrick Williams last year, who the Bulls drafted, similar type guy, similar type projections coming into the draft. I remember when the Bulls drafted him, like, that's a bad pick. But then when you look at him in the NBA, like he started to find his feet in the NBA, and he was a pretty good fit.
Suggs to Orlando now.
Yeah, I don't think that's any surprise. But I like this. So, like, the one thing that I think is left here is you got those 2 picks in the second round. If you can trade them, package them, and get into the first round, there's some talent to be had in the first round at the back end.
Yeah. So who has 6? OKC.
6 is OKC. Yeah.
I think I can see them doing Kuminga. They can take on a project because they're not trying to win right now.
If I were them, I would absolutely go Kuminga. Like I think maybe you can see a fit for maybe like a Keon Johnson, but Kuminga for me, I think that's the guy you go for.
If they hold on to Shea, I don't know how that if that can. If Shea can play the point guard.
The Shea situation is going to be interesting because I know what I've heard is that he doesn't fit in with their timeline, so I don't know that they necessarily want to pay him right now when they think their timeline is going to be a couple years from now. So that's why like a Kuminga fits in because you project him like a couple years down the road. That's probably when he's going to start hitting his stride. He still needs some work. I think he's one of those guys who like very high ceiling, but the floor could be kind of scary because you don't know what he could work out to. But I would absolutely go Kuminga, and they have the ability to do that with all the picks that they have. They can afford to make some mistakes with their picks, like kind of like the Pokusevski pick. Like that was one of those picks where it was just throw some darts and see what sticks.
It's a gamble. I mean, this kind of tells me Masai's staying because I don't know if they I don't know if a ballsy pick is made like that if he was going, because like he could do it. Because I don't know if it would go to Bobby would become the president. Would he be allowed to make like such a ballsy pick like that?
You think they move Bobby to president?
No, if Masai left.
Yeah, you think they would?
Yeah. I think it's next. I think they have the org set up. It would be next man up.
I was thinking they would bring in somebody from outside. For the president
I
role
was reading
specifically.
this article on the Athletic last year, and they're talking about agents and like who's most ready to take over an org, and a lot of them said Bobby.
Yeah, I guess I don't know enough about we wouldn't know about that part of things. So I could see it. It's just I wonder what they end up doing for the GM position.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that Suggs is going to be a good fit in Orlando. They're probably laughing having Suggs drop that far. I like some of the stuff that he said where if anybody that passes up on him is going to regret it. His attitude is great, but I'm so happy to see just the type of person that Barnes is. Everything that I heard in his interviews, he seems like a good kid, and I'm super excited to have somebody like that here.
Oh yeah.
This guy's a born leader, right? His mental toughness, obviously.
So, anything else, guys? I know we said we are going to do the top 5 picks. So, anything you want to add to wrap this up?
Who's the guy?
What does it mean for? Doesn't mean anything for the Lowry situation or the fact that Raptors are in talks for Ben Simmons? Does it change anything?
Raptors are in talks with what?
For Ben Simmons, I think that's done. I think
unless it's a sign and trade type thing where Lowry's part of it.
Yeah, which is still the situation that I guess is left.
Are they in on Ben Simmons now, knowing that they just took Scottie Barnes?
Well, that's my question. So what does that mean?
I don't know I don't think that they're as big on Ben. I don't know if the Ben Simmons thing is a real. It could just be again like teams like really leaking it just to get more. Just to get more offers or to get better offers.
I think there's probably some interest there. I think if you look at Simmons, like he could fit into this team, especially defensively. But I don't think there's enough interest to do anything like. I think OG might have to be included in that package. I don't think they're doing that. Like I don't
do that.
No, you can't.
Now your top guy. Is a guy that he can develop a shot, but he's not going to shoot this year. So you're going to play both of them on the floor?
Yeah. I mean that's scary. That's scary to think. Who's gonna shoot?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, essentially, you'd be left with trying to play Simmons in the dunker spot as like kind of like as your pseudo big. And I guess you could have like, you know, a lineup with like OG and Pascal and, you know, spread out. But like, I don't know if you necessarily want to do that. And like I said, you'd probably have to give up.
Ooh,
Pascal.
Shams has tweeted OKC's taking Josh Giddey.
Oh, okay. I like that. I do like that. So anybody who doesn't know Josh Giddey, 6'8", from Australia, played in the Australian League. Great court vision, super lanky. I think the knock on him is probably his lateral movement, just his probably athleticism in general. But if you watch him, like he looks like he can play. He's definitely got high basketball IQ. I like that pick because that's one of those where you're hoping that you hit on something.
Mm-hmm.
3 first-round draft picks tonight. The pick is in. Commissioner Adam Silver will step in.
All right, guys. So I think we should wrap it up there.
Who was the one person that was listening?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Whoever's listening, please add us on some social media platform.
I think they've left, but like this is I'm pretty sure this loads. I mean, this is our first time doing it, so we don't really know how this happens, but it automatically goes on YouTube afterwards. So I think people will still be watching this afterwards. So if you enjoyed this, just make sure you subscribe, like this, so that you know the algorithm picks us up, and we'll start being a little bit more diligent with putting stuff out on a regular basis. I think we're now we've rested a little bit and we're in a better position to start doing that. But all right, guys, thanks for joining us, and you'll be seeing us soon.
All right, thanks.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right.